What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Up the Thunder, episode 12. Um, Crazy news in the NBA world. We'll start with the craziest news. First of all, I'm gonna give a little shout out to the Knicks because I'm not a bandwagon fan, but I did cop a Knicks t-shirt as I was walking by the NBA store, I don't know, a couple of days ago. Line was pretty short. Surprisingly, I had seen on social media that the line was like thousands of people long, but this one was not. So I hopped in line and got myself a NBA championship shirt for the Knicks. Because how often are you going to be living in the city that wins a chip? They're not my team, but I had to do it. Anyway, biggest news in the NBA world is Aaron Wiggins traded. Let that just sink in. Just kidding. Not kidding. He did get traded. But the biggest news in the NBA world is Giannis Antetokounmpo. I've never been able to say his last name, but Giannis. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. He was traded last night, literally right after I went to bed. Like, I don't know how I missed this. Right after the Julius Randle trade, which I thought was a pretty big trade. I was like, which again was a terrible trade in my opinion. But clearly Minnesota just wants cap space for a guard, so they're getting rid of Randle, who was their best player in the playoffs, by the way. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Giannis is traded to the Miami Heat, of all places. The Decision Part 2, taking a page out of LeBron's book. I'm not that shocked. I guess they were the front runners for who was going to get it. It was between the Heat and the Celtics, actually. According to rumors, the Celtics were not willing to give up the young assets that they had in order to complete the deal. But the Heat, on the other hand, they were willing to give up essentially everything. And the Bucks got a nice deal here. Let me just read off this deal to you guys. So the Milwaukee Bucks traded Giannis and Bobby Portis to the Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Kel'el Ware, Jaime Jaquez, Yakin and 3 first-round picks, including this year's number 13 pick, a pick swap, and a second rounder. That is a humongous package for the Bucks. So, they're going to that's a lot of assets going forward. They can still tank this year, get a great pick for next year. Honestly, that's pretty solid for the Bucks. And, at first glance, when I saw the trade, I thought, man, the Heat are just rinsed. Not so much as I thought. Let me just pull up this other tweet that kind of put it into perspective for me. So yeah, like I said, when the trade went through, I thought the Heat were going to be completely rinsed and they were going to have no bench. It's not 100%, like they're not going to be amazing coming off the bench, but they still have Larson. They have Jovic. They have got Drew Smith. Assuming they can retain Powell, Bobby Portis will come off the bench too. But assuming they can retain Norman Powell, that's going to be great for their depth. I think the Heat are in a pretty good spot still. But I think the Bucks got rid of Giannis, which is just an insane salary monster that they got rid of. And he wanted out. He's been wanting out for a couple of years now. So finally got the monkey off their back, and honestly got a lot of good players and a ton of good assets. And they'll still be able to, quote unquote, tank next year, barring these new rules, these new tanking rules. But yeah, I think it's gonna be great for the Bucks, and it'll be interesting to see how the Heat deal with this, deal with the new Giannis situation. I don't know if it makes them the front runners of the East. I think it definitely puts them in the top 5, top 4. Like last year when the Magic traded for Desmond Bane. We all thought that was going to put them, maybe winning the East. That certainly didn't happen. They just barely made the playoffs, to be honest. So I don't think the same thing's going to happen with Giannis here. I think they're going to be top 4. not going to put any money on it or anything, but that would be my first guess. Instant reactions of power rankings in the East. I'm going to have to stick with Knicks, Boston, maybe, and then Detroit, and then probably the Heat at 4. Cleveland could be number 4/5, depending on how that shakes out. But like I said, the Heat are gonna have they're gonna have a whole lot of problems and solutions. So we'll see. And yeah, I mean, I'll be interested to see. I mean, the Bucks are getting the 13th pick this year, so I don't know how that's gonna shake out, how that changes the things for the Thunder. Now that the Bucks will probably be looking to draft a young big, like the Thunder. There have been a lot of talks about the Thunder drafting a young big. Not, we'll see. We shall see how that plays out too. But enough Giannis. We've been talking about Giannis for literally years. Don't need to do that anymore. So it's time to talk about Aaron Wiggins. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to the Thunder fans, of course, because Aaron Wiggins is still very much alive. Everybody, don't get that, don't get that messed up. Aaron Wiggins is being traded to the Atlanta Hawks for 2 second-round picks. I think it's a fine trade. I think it's pretty good for both teams. The Thunder are getting a lot of the Thunder are creating some cap space. By doing this, they're saving some money. They're getting some assets far down the road. 2030, 2032 are these 2 second rounders that they'll be acquiring. And the Hawks are getting more bench scoring. I'm sad to see Aaron Wiggins go. He was truly one of my favorite players on the Thunder, and I'm not just saying that because he's gone now. Definitely was up there for me. Like, probably, I mean, after he gave that speech, it was hard to not have him as like your second or third favorite player after Shea. He'll always be a Thunder legend in my opinion. Anyone that gets traded at this point is going to be a Thunder legend, especially because he was so he contributed so much to the finals run, to the championship run last year, and he was legit, like, playing real minutes in that finals run. Like, he had some games where he won us the game. I don't know if anyone can rewind back, but Aaron Wiggins, with the help of Cason Wallace, also, the two of them essentially won us Game 4 of that Denver series. So we had just lost Game 3 in overtime, and Game 4 we're losing again, and it's looking like we're teetering on the edge of, like, we're just going to get blown out. And you have Aaron Wiggins and Cason Wallace hitting, like, I think Wiggins hit 3 threes, Cason hit 2 threes. It was amazing. Wiggins was so good in that series, and again in the Indiana series. He truly won us games that postseason and that whole regular season. He just truly won us games, and we'll always remember his 41-point game. That he had in the Paycom Center, 41 points and 13 boards. So awesome. So happy for him. And I'm really happy he got a ring. Like, what a story for him. 55th pick in the draft in 2021. He was the last remaining player from that draft. Before him was Josh Giddey. It was Jeremiah Earl Robinson and Trey Mann. Gosh, it took me a while to remember those things. Yeah. So the last of our 2021 picks, draft class, gone. Sad to see them go, but really happy that Aaron Wiggins did get a ring. He deserved it. And we will be excited to have him back in the Paycom in an Atlanta jersey. I'm sure he will get a video. There will be a tribute to him. There's never going to be any bad blood between the Thunder fans and Thunder locker room and Aaron Wiggins. And I know that A lot of the media really loved Aaron Wiggins, and Shea said that Wiggins was the funniest guy in the locker room, which is really crazy for us as fans to hear because he was so quiet. He just seemed so quiet all the time, and then he came out and gave that epic speech, and we were like, "Where did this come from?" So that was pretty awesome. Anyway, Aaron Wiggins gone. Drop your favorite Aaron Wiggins moment in the comments. Great player. He's going to do great things, hopefully, for the Hawks. I mean, they're going to be great. They're already good. They're already a playoff team. Like, he's not like he's leaving for a bad team. We're not trading him to a tanking team. We're trading him to a team where he'll get 20 plus minutes a game, and he will also get to get this average 14 points a game. He'll get to play in the playoffs. Like, he'll just have such a larger role that he did for us, which is unfortunate that we weren't able to find him a larger role this year. But possibly that's because he didn't play as well this year, and that's just how the NBA goes, unfortunately. I'm sure Wiggins is upset and sad, but he knows that it is a business. And that's just how the NBA shakes out, 90% of the time. Again, it's not about what you did; it's what can you do. So, good luck to Aaron Wiggins, and we will always love him. But so, what does that mean for us as a team going forward? Now that Wiggins is gone, are we going to? Is that just the first domino that's falling? Are we going to see Isaiah Joe gone? Are we going to see Kenrich gone? Will Hart go? Will Dort go? Will we keep everybody and just we'll still be over the tax? Getting rid of Wiggins has saved us some money, but assuming we draft at 12 and 17, it's most likely we still have to get rid of another player. I think we won't know for a while. Might be later in the summer. Like I said in other podcasts, like, we can have a larger roster during the summer. That's not a penalty. So there's a very good chance that we don't see any more moves by the Thunder today. I wouldn't be surprised though if we did. Like, we might see some trade up for some picks later in the evening or this afternoon or during the draft. You never really know. But yeah, I mean, it makes the most sense at this point to see Lou Dort go. I know we've kind of always predicted that, but because Wiggins is gone now, if we get rid of Lou, it almost mathematically makes the most sense. And then re-sign Hart to a 1 year, maybe a 3 year with an option. So yeah. I would have to say that Lou Dort is probably next to go. We probably won't know that until we're closer to the draft. Okay. Now it's time to talk about the NBA draft. It's tonight. Literally is tonight. I can't believe it. Thunder have the 12th pick, the 17th pick, and the 34th pick or 37th pick, 32nd pick. I don't know why I can't remember this. I know it too. So here's what we're looking at. All right, the biggest, the most likely scenario, in my opinion, is that we don't trade anybody. I wouldn't be surprised if we did, but I am just very much leaning towards that we're not going to. We don't make a trade to move up in the draft. Like, we could, but it's looking unlikely. And so here's the players that most likely are going to fall towards us. We're looking at, assuming we don't trade, like I said, we got Morez Johnson, we got Yaxel Lindenberg, Adai Mara, we've got Dalen Swain, we got Steinbach, Nate Ament, we got Cameron Carr, Jaden Quaintance, and maybe Christian Anderson, maybe Kareem Lopez. We got Bennett Sturts potentially, and that's probably around it. There's a chance, like, if we were to move up, which people have talked about trading our 12th pick and a player or trading our 17th pick in a player to move up to two slots, maybe 6, 7, 8. And if we were to do that, there are players like Keaton Wagler available, Mikhail Brown, Kingston Flemings, Darius Acuff. I think that our best bet is sticking with those 12 and 17. And so let's say we do. The favorite, that's what it is seeming to go, is that the favorite of the fans that I'm reading about is that we're going to have Morez Johnson. He's a center from Michigan, 6'10". He's 20 years old, 250 pounds. He's very good. He's pretty big. He's a two-way guy. He's got a high ceiling. He's not great offensively. He's similar to Jay Will. Whereas Jay Will came into the league, not being an offensive player. He could make good reads and good passing, but we obviously developed Jay Will to be a great shooter. So that's possible. Morez Johnson could be that. It wouldn't be my first pick. I think if Darius Acuff could fall to 12, that would be, I know he's a point guard. We don't need another guard. He's a little short, but he's very thundery. So I would love for that to happen. We will see. He's a little bit like, he's been comped to Shea in a way. He's shorter than Shea, of course, but he's a very high volume scoring guard. And if we were to trade up, that would be the guy that I would be hoping to grab. Right now, the projected 12th pick is actually Adai Mara. I don't think we'll be grabbing him. He's also a center. He's 7'3", 7'4" with shoes on. He's also very young. He's 20. He has a high ceiling, because he's that tall. People have comped him to Wemby, of course, because height. But like I said, we already have 2 7-footers on our team in Shea or not in Shea, in Chet and Hartenstein. It just would be really shocking to take a third 7-footer, all because of what? Because Wemby beat us in 7 games without our two second and third scoring options. I just don't buy that. And I also don't think he's as good as Wemby. He's not as good as Chet either. So it's hard to, unless you see a lot of, if his ceiling is going to grow that quickly, I can see it maybe, but I think he fits for other teams better than he does for us. So we have another guy that I'm pretty high on, Dalen Swain. He's a forward from Texas. He's big. He's a wing. He'd be great. Like Thunder are looking for a wing that can score, that can shoot. He's great. He's not the most consistent scorer, but he's definitely not afraid to make plays. He's very he's an incredible defender already, and we know how much Presti loves to draft a defender. 21 years old. He's 211 pounds, 6'7", 6'8", with shoes on. I think he'd be a great Thunder fit, as well as Yaxel. So Yaxel is projected to go 11th, and Dalen Swain's projected to go 13th. Like I said, we have the 12th pick, but it never actually works out in the 1 through 30 order. So I think there's going to be options for us. And you already know Presti is probably put in a lot of words with other GMs around the league. Yaxel, he's a little older. He's 24, but he's giant. He is so awesome. I would love if we grabbed Yaxel. I know there's some like personal things about Yaxel that people have not loved. He's had some off-court problems, some locker room problems, but a lot of those happened at his previous school before he went to Michigan. So apparently he's cleaned up his act since he got to Michigan. I would hope to believe that, and I would hope that Presti has done his research. Yaxel has made it very public that he wants to play for the Thunder. And he really likes OKC. He came to a Thunder game and wore the T-shirt during the playoffs. Like he's all in on being a Thunder player. That being said, I don't know if he's going to be or not. I would not be mad at all about it. He's a forward. Would be a great wing. He's a good shooter. Really, his biggest downside is that he's old, um, and that his role is a little bit more just like shot dependent. He's not great. Like he doesn't have a huge creation part aspect to his game. He's a spot up shooter from the wing, and we are missing a player like that. And with his wingspan, like 7'3" wingspan, so it would be great to have him. Now looking down at our second pick, 17th, there's a bunch of options. I mean, you have no idea who's going to fall down there. I see Nate Ahmet. People have been talking about him. He's also a forward. Um, he's got a lot of upside as well. Just being, a good shooter from the wing is our biggest thing. I think that we're looking for. You'll see a lot of people talking about Thunder need a shooting wing. Thunder need a guy that can guard the wing. Why? Because if we're looking forward, looking into the long term, it's like, okay, we just lost to the Spurs. And the big reason we lost to the Spurs was because of Wemby. And if you look at the numbers, when Wemby and Chet, when Wemby's playing the five and he's not outside, ball handling the ball, and it's just Chet on Wemby down in the post, or it's Hart on Wemby down in the post. We actually played we held him to the very low scoring, very low percentage scoring. Now he still scored on us, but where he killed us was his playmaking and his shooting from the outside. I mean, we got killed from just the mental side of Wemby being out there. And it hurt badly to not have J-Dub as a wing defender. And if we can have J-Dub as a starter, and then we have this huge guy off the bench that's even bigger than J-Dub, that can also come in and fill up those minutes and guard Wemby on the wing, and then we still have Hart and Chet waiting down in the post. Like, that's how you stop Wemby. And you saw that the Knicks were able to do that. I mean, OG, he did a great job. Hart did a great job. Bridges, not as big, but like they were able to stop Wemby, like his offensive ability, and they were still able to have Mitchell Robinson and Cat in the center, waiting for Wemby. And so Wemby's water got shut off massively in the finals. So the Thunder, I'm sure, took a page out of that, or want to take a page out of that book. And we knew that going in, going after the loss in Game 7. Like, something has to be done about our players at the wing position. So, like I said, Nate Ahmet is up there. We've got Cameron Carr, who's mostly a guard, somewhat of a small forward too. But people have talked about him. And yeah. Another guy that actually is projected to go at 17 is Jaden Quaintance. I haven't actually got to watch a ton of him. He's from Kentucky though. He's a wing / center, power forward. He's huge. He's 250. Like, he is giant. I think he's a bit too big to what the Thunder want. He's also got a history of being hurt, which is the last thing a Thunder want. Yeah. So he's an amazing defender, probably one of the best defenders in this draft, if not the best defender in the draft. But his offensive abilities definitely hindered, and like I said, he's a bit of a liability because of his injury. He's so injury prone. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if we grabbed him as well. I personally don't think we need another center. I know I've said this in other pods, but it all is going to depend on what we do with this Hartenstein deal. If we extend him 1 year, then it'll make total sense to grab another center. If we extend him 3 years, I don't know so much. I know, like I said, this is like people have been saying, this is an amazing draft. It's a very deep draft. There's a ton of good players available. Maybe the best draft in a long time. So yeah, if there's a great center, maybe you just grab him anyway. But we do have Thomas Sorber, who was one of the best big men coming out of last year's draft, just waiting in the wings, and he's going to demand minutes. So like we have to give him a chance before we give this other guy, we give a new guy a chance. So we'll see how that shakes out. I personally would love to keep Hartenstein as long as we can. He's like so fun for me. Like, I have his jersey. I love watching him. I don't want to lose Hartenstein anytime soon. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it about the draft from me. If we're talking about the top 3 picks, I'm pumped to see what the Wizards do. I think they're going to grab Cameron Boozer. It'd be a massive fumble if they didn't. I mean, he's one of the best prospects in a very long time outside of Wemby, obviously. Most likely we'll see AJ Dabansa go at 2 and Caleb Wilson go at 3, or maybe Darren Peterson, one of those two. But yeah, I don't know about the Thunder's trade-ability. If they do, I'm not going to be surprised, but I don't think they will, if that makes any sense. So one last thing about the Giannis before we move on. Apparently, this was just released a minute ago on Twitter from Chris Haynes. He said that Giannis was open. His 3 teams that he was open to signing with were the Heat, which he signed with, the Celtics, who they couldn't come to a deal with, and Minnesota. He said he was open to signing long term with Minnesota. That would have been awesome, but I would have hated having Giannis in the West. Thank God he stayed in the East. Yeah. Anyway, draft is at 7 o'clock Central tonight on ESPN, ABC. Tune in. It's going to be amazing. If there's anything crazy, maybe we'll pod about it tomorrow. According to some insider people on NBA or Twitter, Jaylen Brown is now on the trade block. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a Jaylen Brown trade today before the draft or during the draft. That would be crazy. Anyway, before we go, we got to do it again, guys. We have to play 82-0. We always have to play this at the end. So let me just share my screen. All right. You guys ready? Classic. Oh, this is big. Shaq in the 90s. You have to go Shaq in the 90s, right? Or do you go Magic? Get 11 assists. I'm going to go Shaq. All right. That's a good first one. Philly in the 80s. Charles Barkley. Oh, wow. Wow. We are covered on the boards right now. Let's put Barkley in the power forward. Minnie in the 2010s. Not loving this one. Not loving this. I would love to get a LeBron 2010. Let's do a team spin here. Ooh, OKC. Kevin Durant. Let's go. Because Barkley can only be these 2, I'm going to have KD here at the shooting guard. Here we go. Brooklyn in the 2010s. Not amazing. If we can get Brooklyn in the 20s, we can get like Kyrie. Do we spin the era or do we get D'Angelo Russell? I think we got to spin the era. Oh, yes. We got Kyrie. That's huge. Okay. Or do we go James Harden? He's got 10 assists. Almost 11 assists. Harden or Kyrie, guys? I'm going to go with Harden. All right, last spot. We're doing well. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hang on. This can change, right? We can get Amari Stoudemire. Oh, 75-5. 75-7. That's our best one yet, but still not perfect. That's a good team. 125 points a game, 48 blocks a game, 22 assists a game. It's a historic team, guys. Not quite good enough. Anyway, just a quick pod today. I hope that you guys enjoyed. We will talk to you again if anything crazy happens on the Thunder. If we lose Lou in the next couple of days or today, you never really know. If that day comes, very sad. Very sad about Aaron Wiggins. Not Andrew Wiggins. Aaron Wiggins. He'll always be a Thunder legend. And yeah, tune into the draft tonight. It should be amazing. Hope you guys enjoyed listening, watching. I meant to say we're going to go on YouTube now. So I'm going to start uploading the audio to Spotify and Substack. The video version is only going to be available on YouTube, and then clips will be available on Instagram. So be watching YouTube. Go subscribe to the YouTube. Yeah, the 82-0 challenge will only be available in the YouTube version, and in a short and a clip on Instagram and YouTube Reels. So the audio version is going to be Spotify for now, but the full video version will be on YouTube. So go listen to that there, and of course, it will also be on Substack as the audio version. So listen to that as well. And yeah, share this with your friends. Thunder up, everybody, and we will talk to you again very soon.